In 1963, a man knocked down his basement wall and found an abandoned city for 20,000 people. He was renovating his house in the town of Derinkuyu. His chickens kept disappearing through a small crevice in the stone. He removed the wall to find them. The man found a dark corridor instead. That corridor led to a cave. The cave led to a tunnel. This tunnel opened into an 18-story underground metropolis. It reached a depth of 280 feet. The city had no modern name. Researchers call it Derinkuyu. It was not a simple bunker. This was a fully functioning society carved entirely out of volcanic rock. Archaeologists from the Turkish Department of Culture arrived to investigate. Teams mapped the sprawling tunnels. Kitchens still held centuries of soot on the rock ceilings. Wine presses sat empty next to deep oil storage rooms. Stables featured mangers carved directly into the stone walls. One room was a school with a vaulted ceiling and study areas. Another room functioned as a cross-shaped chapel. Everything was located hundreds of feet below the surface of the earth. The air should have been toxic. It wasn't. The builders dug 52 separate ventilation shafts. These shafts pulled fresh air down to the deepest levels. Even today, the air quality inside the bottom tunnels remains perfectly breathable. The structural engineering is flawless. A single collapsed pillar would have buried thousands alive. There are no collapsed pillars. The rock was soft enough to carve but strong enough to support 18 floors. The architects understood structural geology. These builders also understood warfare. Derinkuyu was not built for everyday living. The complex was constructed purely for survival. The surface world was violently contested by the Assyrians, Persians, and Romans. When an invading army approached, 20,000 people vanished underground. Citizens brought their livestock down the narrow ramps. Families hauled months of preserved food into the depths. Guards sealed the entrances behind them. The doors were massive circular stones weighing 1,000 pounds each. Each stone functioned like a giant wheel. A single person could roll the door across a corridor to block it. But the wheel could only be rolled from the inside. Surface invaders could not pull it open. No one from the outside could move the massive rock. The entrance tunnels were intentionally narrow. Intruders had to walk single file in the dark. Attackers also had to crouch to fit through the low ceilings. This forced them into a highly vulnerable physical position. Defenders waited in the shadows with spears. If an enemy breached the first door, the defenders simply retreated. Every single floor could be sealed off independently from the others. The entire structure functioned as an impenetrable subterranean fortress. Water supplies were equally well defended. The primary well reached the water table from the lowest floor. But the surface opening was completely hidden. This design prevented enemies from poisoning the water supply from above. Residents could survive underground for 6 straight months without surfacing. The Turkish Department of Culture believes the Phrygians started digging in the 8th century BC. Later generations expanded the complex over 1,000 years. Byzantine Christians hid there from Arab raids in the 7th century. These refugees left behind the Christian chapels and the wine presses. Eventually, the brutal surface wars stopped. Residents moved permanently back above ground. The hidden entrances were forgotten. This vast underground city sat empty for centuries in total darkness. Over 200 similar subterranean cities have since been discovered in Turkey. Many of these complexes are connected by tunnels spanning miles. An entire subterranean world remains hidden beneath the region. Most of it has never been excavated or explored. You could be walking over an ancient city right now. Subscribe for more files from the dark.